Learning is one of the most overpowered things we can do as humans, and it has been an essential part of human evolution for thousands of years. This is pretty evident for many reasons. For those who have tried it before, you'll notice that learning makes you better at many things, including impressing uninterested people with random fun facts, and informing the boys that you pee sitting down wasn't such a good idea. Now, the reason you clicked on this video is because you want to know how to learn something fast, and most people will tell you it's hard to learn anything new, but what they really mean is that you'll never figure out how to play Sudoku. Well, I'm not most people, let alone human, and I'm here to tell you that learning anything is so simple. Lesson 1. Procrastination. First, let's address everyone's favourite pastime, procrastination. Procrastination is the art of doing tomorrow what could have been done today, and it often involves a series of increasingly creative distractions, like organising your underwear by the days of the week, because nothing says productive like wearing your Friday thong on a Tuesday. So how do we fix this? Just start. Think of it as jumping into a pool. Socks off, of course. It's terrifying at first because the water is cold, but mostly because you remembered you can't swim. Well, now you really have no choice but to play around and learn. Lesson 2. Staying consistent. Now, let's talk about staying consistent. Despite the inevitable life setbacks and crotch kicks, think of consistency not just as a good habit, but as your lifeline in learning. It's like being on a diet. There are always going to be cheat days, unless you're a stick figure on a consistent 5-pixel brushstroke. It's important to be aware that problems and distractions will arise, breaking your momentum. Build that momentum back up by remembering the long-term benefits of learning over short-term satisfactions like social media and games. To stay consistent, I personally like to remind myself that my mama didn't raise no bitch. Pardon my French. Lesson 3. Effective learning. Our brain's capacity for learning rivals my girlfriend's multiple personalities. It can handle a lot. Think of our brain as a sponge in an ocean of knowledge, ready to absorb, but you must guard it properly. Building knowledge is less about stuffing facts into your brain, and more about luring them in with candy. Lesson 4. Recovery. Sleep helps clean out toxins in your brain, like a little consuela for your head. Physical exercise and social interactions also produce new neurons. And for the unhealthy introverts out there, as I portray myself, which would you rather be? A. Healthy and make new friends, or B. Deceased, alone, and nobody likes you? That's right. The answer is C. Dinner with Jay-Z. Lesson 5. Study environment. Your study environment plays a critical role in how effectively you can learn. You might think that it's all about having the latest gadgets and perfectly organised desk, and you'll be absolutely correct. Trying to focus in a chaotic and noisy environment is like trying to solve a complex puzzle with clown juice playing in your ear. Find space that feels right, whether it's the silence of a library or back up your mum's uterus. Background noise can be beneficial. A bit of background noise can be a symphony to your creativity. Lesson 6. Participation. Watching someone solve math problems or write code isn't the same as doing it yourself. It's like learning to cook by watching cooking shows. Sure, you might pick up a few tips, but you'll never really learn how to make Gordon Ramsay's sticky spotted dick. Now, effective participation includes practical exercises, engage in simulations, or partake in interactive quizzes. Mistakes made here and there are valuable. They're not setbacks but signposts to guide your learning journey. For instance, if you're learning a new language, don't just listen to audio lessons. Speak it. Talk to native speakers, make grammatical mistakes, and then go back and learn why you're a mistake. Lesson 7. Relatable concepts. Abstract concepts can often seem like distant relatives. You know they're related to you, but you're not quite sure how. To bridge this gap, relate these concepts to everyday experiences. For example, if you're studying a complex subject like business studies, pathetic, relate it to something as simple as shopping for groceries. Concepts like supply and demand can be seen in how prices change when something is in short supply but high demand, like life vests on the Titanic. Lesson 8. Deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is about being strategic with your learning efforts. It's not merely repeating a task, it's about seeking to improve with each repetition. Set specific goals, receive feedback, and focus your efforts where they're needed most. Lesson 9. Bite size. When faced with a monumental task, don't let its entirety overwhelm you. Break it down into smaller, manageable pieces. If you're learning to code, don't try to build a full software application in a day. Start with writing a simple piece of code to understand the basics, just as you wouldn't gobble that spotted dick in one go. Final lesson. Take initiative. Taking initiative is one of the most crucial steps for learning fast. It's about making active decisions to learn and improve, rather than waiting for someone to come along and whip you. If you're curious about how to become an artist, you might think it involves years of practice and expensive supplies, but really, it's about mastering the art. of explaining why your paint splatters are actually profound. So now that I taught you learning, that's going to cost you 1 subscribe and the screen's going to ask you some questions.